What's up, guys? Welcome to the Sesh, Rob.
Hey, everybody.
It's been, what, a week?
Well, you've been gone, man. You've been
Do I look really red?
jet setting.
You look great. You have a nice color.
Okay, good.
I'm jealous.
It's
I need
usually
this tan.
usually a few days after I have that really nice, beautiful reddish tan.
You do.
So,
Nice.
but in the house we got Magali de la Rosa.
Hey, Magali.
Hey, hi guys. Thanks for having me.
Of
Thanks
course.
for being here.
What do you think about our studio?
I think it's absolutely amazing, and I'm definitely coming back to film a music video
Sweet.
or my own little fashion podcast or something. Just
Ooh,
throwing
that
it out
sounds
there.
interesting. Yeah,
Throwing
no,
it
that'd
out
be
there.
great.
There needs
needed.
to be many podcasts because I was thinking about this yesterday since we're on our fitness journey.
Yeah, yeah, we are.
There's no really fitness podcasts out there that are local.
Yeah.
That are local.
Right.
No, I don't think there are.
Nope.
Man, you know who would be great for that? Real Talk Mike, our trainer, would be great for
exactly.
that. He's just
Knowledgeable.
Yeah, man. Like I leaved feeling amazing, super winded and tired, but I'm learning something every time I'm there. It's cool.
Surprisingly enough, we told him to get our 40-year-old asses into shape. So he was like, I'm up for the challenge.
Yeah, he accepted. So yeah, we're working on it.
Fitness. I mean, I love to dance and all, but that's pretty much about it. Maybe a little cardio.
Well, that's all you really need.
I see girls and they're with the weights, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I couldn't. I'm just watching. I'm like,
It's hard.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
hard.
it's not. Josh was kind of talking to me about it the other day. He was like, "Rob, it's a skill, man. Working out is a skill. It's
Yeah.
not something that you do. It's something you have to learn to do well, and you have to practice it, and it becomes a skill that's just a part of your daily thing." And
Yeah.
and so yeah, it is. And so the people I think who are busting their asses out there are better at the skill than we are.
Yeah, because it's definitely not easy. Like, we're trying to eat right.
Yeah.
We're trying to work out. And it's like,
So Magali, you were telling us that you just wrapped a movie that was filmed here locally. Tell us about that a little bit.
You know, I'm going to start from the beginning. We were right in the middle of the South Texas Film Festival stuff. You guys are familiar with that.
Yes, absolutely.
We did, the screening and all of that. Literally, that same day, I got a message from somebody. They're like, somebody referred you. They said, you're a great actress. Will you send in an audition tape? I'm like, such short notice. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to send something and bomb. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, sure.
But my fiance is like, you got to do it. He's like, you're good. You're a professional. So I did it. He helped me film it. I sent it in. Within an hour, they're like, you got the part.
oh, nice.
I'm like, oh my God. And so I get there. I show up to set, and they have a huge crew. I'm like, ooh, and they have like, the table with all the food, the craft table. I'm like, this is big time. It was a great experience, great cast, wonderful script. It's a scary movie. It was shot in Rio Grande City, and I can't wait. We just wrapped a couple of weeks ago.
Wow, congratulations.
When does that come out?
We're not sure yet. It's in the editing process right now. As you all know, it can be done very fast, or it can be done over a long period of time. But
Surprisingly, when we did the documentary, I was telling Rob, I was like, we have to submit it by this day.
Yeah, we were on a
like,
deadline.
The day before, when I just finished editing it, and then I went. But a documentary is completely different than a movie.
Yeah.
Like, it was just me and Rob running around the country trying to film what we needed to film.
Yeah.
What is like the process of an actual movie? Because I'm super interested in that from your point of view as an actress.
Yes.
What does that look like?
Well, I absolutely love it. I love the process. First of all, I'm the kind of person that I have to be off script. I can't be struggling like when we're in front of the thing, like what's the line, what's this? I have to know it in order for me to get really into the character, so I don't have any distractions, you know? So we're there, we're working. It's great. You have to do it from different angles, which a lot of people, I don't think they know all the work that goes into a movie. Music videos are different. You know, I know a lot of artists and stuff. It's maybe just like a few angles and then like you're done or whatever, right? No, this is like you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do things for sound. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to just take that time to film. For example, I'm going to just do a little leak here.
Go for it.
In one of the scenes, I pull out like my own tooth, right? And I throw it in the sink. So I did the scene from like a couple of different angles, and then the sound guy came in and he's like, okay, pick up the fake tooth and drop it. And pick it up and drop it. And one more time. So those little details is what makes shooting, I think, so long, but so great.
Yeah, there's just so much content that you're going to be like recording. Like,
Yep.
we had a crap load of content, and we filmed a completely different documentary than what's shown. And then we went with the PSJ Theater team that actually are state champions.
Wow, I saw that. That's amazing.
Well, I saw the way they were filming. And I was like, hey, Rob, I filmed this completely
Yeah,
wrong.
we were bombed after that. We were like completely demoralized. I said, God, we just spent the last like 15 days and on this, and it's crap. And so
high schoolers.
Yeah, high schoolers.
High schoolers.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they have the most amazing equipment. They're putting on the most amazing shows. I swear,
They really
I went
are.
to PSJ North to see one of their plays, and I swear I thought I was on Broadway. I'm like,
Wow.
this
The
was
talent, the level of talent.
the talent, the technology, the technical work. I'm like, they're impressive. Okay.
Speaking about talent, you're not only an actress, your roots are kind of in music, aren't they?
Yes, I'm a singer and somewhat of a songwriter as well, mostly a vocalist. Yes.
Wow,
yes.
nice. Do you play any instruments?
I don't, but I can snap my fingers.
Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, that's-
You can do the most important part is
Yeah.
the dancing and looking good.
Well, no, I mean,
Thank you.
your pipes are your own instrument, you know? I mean, that's what you play with.
Yeah.
Your vocals is a huge thing. So.
Yes, it is.
And I remember back in the day, 2015, we were
Yes.
just talking about that when I helped film one of your music videos, Esta Vez.
Esta vez. Oh
And
my
I was like, I
gosh.
still listen to it to this day, and it's like such a good song.
Yes.
Where did that come from? Your dad wrote
My
that.
dad wrote that. So my dad, he was in the music business, primarily in the Tejano genre, did a little bit of rock music as well. He's still a big influence today, writes the majority of my music. I want to say like 95% of my music. Hey, Dad. What's up,
That's a fun
Dad?
fact. No, that's cool.
And-
Yeah, that's worthy of a shout out.
He wrote that song for me, and I thought it was just such a beautiful song. When we practiced it, it actually made me cry. And music really doesn't. I mean, I love it, but like to make you cry is like something
Yeah, it's
complete on a
powerful.
different level. And so we recorded it, and it was special because it was the first music video we had done. You know, him and I did a music video together, but it was the first time I actually had fans for the first time.
Wow.
They embraced me. They commented. They shared my videos. I had DJs calling for interviews. It was like that opened up the door for
Wow.
me.
Wow,
And
wow,
I'm
wow.
like, wow, with just a song and a video.
It's
you know?
crazy because nowadays, like anybody can film music videos and
Yes.
get content out there. What's the one thing that you would tell musicians? Because I see this all the time. Like they put out badass music,
Yeah.
and then that's it. Like I think you are perfect for this because you're always pushing out content. Like
Yes.
it's content marketing at the end of the day.
Yes.
You can't just push out one song
Yeah.
and then all right, check it out, guys. Here it
No.
is. It does not work like that.
No, it's a constant 24-hour job. If you're going to put something out there, you need to promote it. You need to set aside a budget as well. I know that may be hard for some artists that are starting out, but find a way to set aside a budget so that you can promote your music on Instagram, on Facebook. You can set up ads. It's very easy. You have to keep at it. Make shout out videos. Get your fans involved. Ask them what they want to see. You have to do these things, or your music is just gonna sit there.
Yeah.
You know, we released a single in November, and it's still making its way on the chart. It's still doing really well, but because we pushed it so hard, you know,
Yeah.
and
There has to
people
be
are
a
still
campaign
liking it.
behind the
Yes.
product,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
product is the talent.
And what I've been doing so we have a whole last album that we did. Now we're moving into the next one. I've taken a single or a song from that album and I branded each one of them differently.
Oh, nice.
You know, so we took our very first one. It was a cumbia. It was kind of like a techno cumbia. So we did like a techno cumbia vibe video. We branded that. Then we moved on to the next one, which was Greg's song.
Okay.
We have a mutual friend who's a very talented musician. He's in my band. He wrote this beautiful mariachi ballad. We took that and we branded it a completely different way. I feel like you're going to reach a broader audience that
Absolutely.
way. So that's
Yeah.
what we've been doing. That's my.
Greg actually wrote the music for the documentary.
For the collapse, yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
surprised.
He did the
He's-
score for it.
Interestingly,
He's so talented.
Interestingly enough, I gave it to him one day. He's like, "When do you need this by?" I was like, 3 days,"
Yeah, like now, yeah.
and he was like, "Okay."
Done, right?
He got it done.
Because
Yeah, he did.
he's so talented
In
that
less
way.
than 3 days.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Because
In less
I
than 3
needed
days.
it to edit the extra parts.
Yeah, no, he did an amazing job. In fact, I can still hear a lot of the stuff even without watching the documentary, and it's just he did really well.
Yeah.
The music behind any film, any documentary is so powerful. Like I watched, I forget what it was called, Rumble and something where the basketball players they jump up to the thing and like hit the fans.
Yeah, they get into a fight.
Like that documentary is what inspired the music for the documentary.
The documentary, yeah, that's what we based it off of. Basically, we kind of sampled from, they're in intense, I guess, moments during the documentary.
The way it moves.
The way it moves, and it kind of helps push the story along. But yeah, Greg listened to it, watched the documentary that we had in mind, and then he just went out and made his own, and it just happened to fit really well.
Crazy how artists can do that.
Yes,
like
they just know. You
yeah,
know?
they just have that like intuition where this is
intuition.
And it
perfect for
worked.
us.
It really worked. Wow. So what's next? So now I know you just said something about your 5th album.
Yes. So right now we're in the studio working on my 5th studio album. I'm very excited. We have some new textures, some new tones. I mean, we're coming out of the gate fighting with this album. It's going to be great. I am shooting one last video for this last album that we were promoting. So we're also going to go all in on that. It's another mariachi ballad. It's going to be a very romantic, kind of sad, but we're taking it old school. We're doing like a 1950s kind of look.
Okay.
Like a Spanish, Mexican starlet.
Vintage.
With the black, wavy hair.
And
the
you
little-
design everything
Yes, I
for
do.
all your music videos.
Yes.
It's crazy. And you designed that?
I designed the top, but I thrifted this blazer and I made the shorts.
Nice.
I usually, for interviews, for everything I do, I like to make something special and
Yeah.
custom for each event.
Oh, that's cool.
I have a million closets filled with clothes as a result of that.
So the newest project that you have is obviously the music and the movie. Can you
Yes.
tell us any more about the movie?
I will say this. I had the opportunity to work with a great cast, a great crew. Cristina Trevino, she is a director for this movie. She is from here. I believe she's actually from FAR.
Oh, wow.
And we also got to work with Marcel Rodriguez, who is brother to Robert Rodriguez.
Oh, nice.
So, like I said, in good company, I think this film is going to go far. I'm really excited.
And you
Wow.
said it was a horror film?
It is.
I'm super interested.
Okay,
to
so
see
did
that.
you all shoot in the Rio Grande Valley because it takes place in that area, or is this just the actual locations that you needed that accommodated the film?
Yes, they accommodated the film.
Oh,
We
cool.
went to this vintage kind of hotel in Rio Grande City. I completely forgot the name. I'm so sorry. But they say that it's actually haunted.
Really?
That they've seen things there. And so we occupied some of the rooms there for some of the scenes. And it was a very creepy
Like
vibe.
super eerie feeling.
I didn't see anything, but I had to do one of the scariest scenes there, with like the tooth and like I'm asleep and like something's like crawling around in the bed and like the room has like a bunch of red in it. It's very old school and I'm like, this is so creepy. You know what I mean? It was perfect for that. And then we shot at a ranch out there to do like the second part of the movie. And that was also kind of scary too. I gotta say.
Interesting.
Nice.
I've never seen any spirits or anything like that. I know, obviously you have, but I've never been in that situation, so I don't know what that feels like. Have you ever seen any spirits or anything abnormal?
Not really, but I've had some nightmares that are pretty frightening. Like
Pretty
I
vivid.
wake up and I'm just like sweating and like I'll tell people, they're like, I've never had nightmares like that. I'm like, well, I have. And like I've had them a little more than I'd like to have them. I don't know why, but that's just what it is. It's
Interesting.
crazy.
Yeah, no, I've watched hundreds of hours of these like ghost chasers and all these documentaries, and they can never really seem to find any kind of like legitimate
Bigfoot kind of?
Yeah, the elusive ghost or whatever. But when people tell me stories about, oh, I saw this, I saw that, I always ask them, man, how'd you deal with that? Like, how long did that impact you for? And their answer is always the same. It's always like, no, yeah. And the next day I was like over it.
Oh God. No,
And I
I
always
wouldn't.
think, well, you're full of shit then, man, because you
Yeah,
didn't
no.
see anything, bro.
No, I would be like, I want to move. Like,
Yeah,
can we go to another
like-
country? Like, I can't do this.
Definitely,
Like,
that night on the causeway, we saw what we thought was a lady drowning, and then later to find out things, and when we put together the clues and the context clues and connected the dots, that stayed with me for a long time. The image, the everything.
Oh,
So when
gosh.
people say, "Oh, I saw a ghost," or "I saw this," and I was over it, 20 minutes later, I said, I always kind of second guess whether I want to believe them or not, because when you see something that becomes real to you and it's in your universe that shouldn't be, it's impactful, man. It's not even a story you want to tell.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, no, it's trippy, but I do feel, because I don't watch scary movies, man. I'm 6'2", 250 pounds.
I don't either.
And I will do it.
Oh my gosh.
That's badass, because I'm on the real here, being real with you guys. I don't. They scare me. I don't like them. I won't watch them.
Like old school ones, like Freddy
Not
Krueger
even,
and
man.
Jason. I'll watch those.
Okay.
But there was one, The Purge. I remember watching it that night, and then somebody broke into my parents' house that same night. And I was like,
my
I'll
gosh,
never
that's
watch these scary
terrible.
movies again.
Oh, that's terrible.
I was in the oil field in Shreveport, Louisiana, man, and all these roughnecks and dudes are like, bro, The Grudge came out, we're going. And I sat pretty high on the chain there. So, you know, not only did they need my approval to go, but they needed I didn't drink, and I don't drink, so they needed me to drive them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you're going to come watch it with us. Oh my God, bro, my hands are sweating just telling the story right now. So we go, and there's 15 of us, man. We walk in there, and I'm sitting on the aisle, right? And it's, you know, stadium seat. And it starts, and that whole scene, did you ever watch it? You don't watch scary
The
movies.
Grudge, no. Is that the one with the girl that walks backwards?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch it. Let me get there.
Eyes closed.
Let me get there. I'm sitting there, all these dudes, and there was this lady, and she was just kind of on the opposite side of the aisle with me. Una señora, you know, and she's there, and she struggled so much to get up the stairs to get to her seat. She had a little cane. She was heavy set, beautiful woman, old lady. And there's this one scene, dude, where the mother starts playing a game where they clap, and she has to find where the clap came from. Make a long story short, the ghost claps, and the old lady next to me says, "Oh, hell no." And she gets up and she starts limping down, and it was the perfect excuse for me to make my escape. I went, "Man, I got you, ma'am." And I went
take
and I
you,
helped
I'll
her
help
all
you.
the way down, and then I never came back. I said,
Wow.
man,
Wow.
I don't watch scary movies. So I've always wondered, because you know how there's those, you know, those sayings or those things you hear about the little girl who played the main
Exorcist,
Exorcist,
right?
how
Yeah.
she kind of became demonic and all this stuff. When you're playing a role and it is in a scary movie, do you leave the set with any heebie-jeebies or like feeling, or is it just like a job?
No, honestly, okay, so before I had my first day, because we had a table read, obviously, so I knew what was coming and all of that. I had a dream that I heard a baby crying. And I'm like, but it was weird because I woke up and I was like, can I still hear that baby crying? Like, am I tripping out here? It was freaky. And the next day I had to go to set. I'm like, oh man, that's what I thought. I'm going to come home with all this, like, you know,
Yeah.
bad vibes, evil spirits, you know. And then, but no, actually doing this movie and leaving the set, I'm like, that's fake. That's fake.
You can
fake
spot it now.
blood. Like now I see movies and I'm like, nope.
I
Like
know
you know
how
what
they
I'm
did
saying?
that, yeah.
So now I'm not as scared as I used to be watching movies. Now
Yeah.
I can watch them and I'm like, okay, cool. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know it's
I tell
know?
my kids that all the time. It's like, don't worry, it's fake. It's
Yeah.
fake, but I won't watch it.
Yeah, but you
my
know,
daughter won't do it either.
I know it's
She's
fake. I know all of that, and more so is that if I do watch a scary movie, I have to plug my ears. I have to. I don't want to hear the, you know, like the music that brings
The
you
sound design.
Oh, and you have to have
I don't.
good.
Yeah, no. So when it comes to that, I don't mess with them because they make me that uncomfortable.
But you
so I've
have
always
to
wondered.
watch my movie though.
Oh
What are you
my
gonna
God,
do?
I'm not gonna
Your
promise.
You
movie,
can't,
I'll
you
watch it.
can't be here like this. You gotta watch it.
I'll let Josh. I don't, I'm just that. Is it that scary?
I mean, it's pretty. There's parts that are pretty gruesome. It's a pretty serious plot.
Okay, now let me ask you this, and we're going to maybe play this guessing game just to kind of narrow it down, because I am less afraid of demonic, demon, heaven and hell type scary movies than I am more so of that's a murderer, or like The Purge, or like there's a psychopath out there killing people.
Yeah.
What type of scary is it? Is it
It's like the first one. So it has to
Oh.
deal with like, you know, Mexican culture, leyendas, La Santísima, like that kind
Wow.
of like, you know, brujeria, like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
stuff, you know what I mean? Which some of it was kind of new to
Interesting.
me. coming in, I'm like, wow, really? People really do this? They like, bring fruit and money and all kinds of things to like the statues and stuff. And I'm like, this is something else. Like I've never.
Well, if you think about it, it's always been a part of our culture in terms of like Dia de los Muertos, and they bring things to the Virgin Mary, to the altar and stuff like that. Well, I think that door swings both ways,
and
for the good
I
and
never
the bad.
thought of it that way. I always thought, it's Dia de los Muertos, we're honoring the dead, and like it's a tradition, and da 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 da. But then you have this other side to it, which I learned through this movie, and I'm like, whoa. Like this is something else,
Yeah, it's and I'm not gonna say that it's real, but its origins are real. I don't know.
Because you can go off any tangent after that. Like you have the main idea, and then your mind can just go crazy as a creator, like as a director, as a writer. When you are taking on the actress part, do you become that person?
Definitely.
So kind of walk me through that, because I've always wanted to act. I don't have it in me.
Oh, I think you could do it. I think you both could do it.
Me too. Like legit, I could do that. I always say that, but then
when it comes down to it.
But then I don't.
Actually, he did win an award
for best new character,
which Greg was actually supposed to play, but he had to take off.
He had to leave for a gig.
So I was like, Rob, you're going in, man.
And he pushed me in. Yeah.
That's cool though. Like it was fun though, wasn't it?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah,
and
it was fun.
I would love to do it. Here's my my anchor, I guess. You said earlier that kind of inspired me, made me feel a little bit better. You were like, I can't go off of a script, and that's where I struggle because I'm dyslexic. The table read that you said, we did a table read, I couldn't do that shit to save my life. And you've seen me.
Yeah.
He'll give me a script for like a commercial or something, and I'll be, I just can't.
I was like, just do it your way, bro.
And he'll just wing it, Rob, and then I'll do it, and it'll work out.
Yeah.
So I think that the real reason I never ever wanted to go into any kind of acting or plays or anything like that was because of my insecurity about how I just can't read out loud.
But there has to
Conquer
be
that fear.
But there has to be a lot of people like that in the industry. Like there has to be.
Definitely.
Dude,
everybody has their things that they have to struggle with.
Kinks in their armor. Man, I don't know. I couldn't. It's literally been the only thing that has deterred me from ever even messing with it, because I'm afraid somebody's going to say, all right, sit at this square table and we're going to have to read each other's lines to us. That shit makes me nervous, man.
But if it makes you feel better, when we did our table read, there was people there that were at the table read that completely messed up. They were like, how do you pronounce this? And like, da-da-da-da-da. I mean, that's just human nature. It's just normal, you know?
Yeah, and that's exactly right. That's what that's for.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Gosh, I feel lighter now that I've shared that with you.
Yeah,
Maybe we might take on acting.
Definitely. You guys should do everything that you feel in your heart you want to try.
I wouldn't even know. How did you even get into that? Like, how do you...
Well, you were an actress before, right?
Yes, I was an actress in high school. So I'm just going to give you a quick little thing. So when I was little, 9, 8 years old, I would sing in front of everybody. I was like this, go-getter, wanted to be like a little Selena, like singing and dancing and all this stuff. When I got to middle school, because of that, I was bullied so severely that I shut down. I kept it a secret that I could sing, that I had all these like talents that I wanted to do. When I got to high school, my drama teacher, I knew his son, we're still friends today. His son told his dad, hey, I have a friend and she sings really good. I know you guys are casting for the next play. So he had me come sit in the office and he's like, sing me a song. I sang him a song. He's like, you're not right for the lead part, but do you want to be in the play anyways, So he gradually started me off doing small roles. By the time I was a senior, I was doing, the lead roles. We went all the way to state with Man of La Mancha. I was the only other woman that year to get an award for acting.
Wow.
And so then I kind of stopped doing that. I went to school for fashion, and then I started doing a couple of independent films in California. It wasn't until I came back to Texas that I did Fist of Justice, which was the one shown at the South Texas Film Festival, and then now this one. Like that I feel are full length, real, actual projects.
Substantial projects, yeah.
So it's been there. I stepped away from it for a while, but now I'm going full throttle. I'm actually trying to get signed to an agency to see. And I've done a couple of commercials here as well. So I got to say, I like how the acting world pays.
Absolutely.
Sometimes the music doesn't pay that well, but the acting business sure will.
I don't know any of either, but it's relevant, man. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
And if you're good at it, you might as well.
Yeah.
So going back to the embodiment of playing your character, how do you get into that?
Well, I mean, I kind of go away from, so this is what I did for this movie, because there was a lot of times when I had to cry, where I had to be terrified, obviously. You know, in one of the scenes, I'm going to get in trouble for this, she actually, you know, miscarries, you know, in this film, right? And in a very not great way. It's one of the more serious tones of the movie. And of course, I have to be in this moment where I'm horrified and I'm crying and I'm so in it. So in that moment, I'm like, I have to think of the most ugly things and the saddest things. And even though I didn't want to, I had to do it. So then I'm just in the corner. I'm trying not to talk to anybody because I'm trying to stay in that moment for when they say action. And that's what I had to do. And on one occasion, someone came up to me. They were like trying to talk to me. And I'm like, no, because I already had the tears rolling down, you know? So
Can't break character.
You can't break character. You have to keep going because you only have a limited amount of time as well before the sun goes down or lighting. Lighting is so important.
Yeah.
As the weather's changing, everyone has to adjust the lighting. So you want to get those shots when you can because, you know.
So how do you get out of that now? Because
Is it like a switch?
Like it's kind of like a switch, but it's exhausting. You leave the set very tired. This was a very tiring film. We shot very long hours. But like I said, if you love this world of acting and being in art, it's nothing to you. To me, it was nothing. I'm like, this is amazing. Of course, I slept for a whole day afterwards, but it was great. It was a great experience.
Because emotionally
to
and physically
method act like that, you need to, like you said, sometimes you need to dig deep into places that you deliberately
avoid.
Yeah.
So coming out of it is weird, you know. Like that guy Heath Ledger, you know, when he played Joker, the Joker, you know, he method acted and he just embodied that character and just couldn't, from what I understand, couldn't really detach himself from it. So,
that's what I heard too.
So that's a deep, dark rabbit hole that you put yourself into that some people just can't get out of sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's
I heard
interesting.
that too. That he
That's
was
super
so
interesting.
aligned with the character after that.
That he just couldn't kind of shake it off, and they got. I guess I don't want to misquote anything, but apparently he was already on some medication and maybe got on some more, and it was just a bad recipe.
Yeah.
But,
Interesting.
Acting's it's a skill.
Let me ask you this: Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Have you been following it?
Yes, here and there I have.
So there was something that I saw yesterday that Amber Heard said that everybody fell in love with Johnny Depp's acting at the actual court cases. What do you think about that? I think they're obviously very skilled actors.
I think
One of them is.
I thought I was gonna say. I think Johnny Depp is an incredible actor.
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry, girls out there who are fans of Amber, but I just really feel like she was lying. Like I don't feel like she was acting, but it wasn't very well.
Yeah.
You know, and she got tripped up a lot. There was a lot of things that they were like, you said this, but now you're saying this, and there was a lot of facts that were not checked out all the way through, and that's what made me sway.
The justice system made their decision, and that's that. You know, regardless of who you favored, or regardless of what acting is or isn't to people, or whether Johnny Depp was acting the whole time he was in court or not, is irrelevant. At this point, she's been proven wrong, and so that's that. You know, that's
What I find interesting is that the actual court case got as much attention as it did. Like it became entertainment.
Of course.
it was. They're train wrecks.
Yeah.
You know.
It's crazy because people are drawn to that. And I remember somebody posting something that's like, this is what the world has come to. We're watching court cases about this going on. I was like, what do you feel about that?
I mean, it is what it is. I don't feel like it's the first, celebrity relationship that's been plastered everywhere like theirs was and their problems. You know, it is entertainment for people. Unfortunately, when you go into that lifestyle, that's just what it is. You're of the public now. I saw an artist getting a lot of bad comments and stuff because he said, I don't want to take pictures with fans. Like, this is my time. Like, da-da-da-da-da. And somebody wrote, but you're of the people now. Yeah. You're an artist. This is what you signed up for. That's what they signed up for, unfortunately. I feel like in her case, and I could be wrong, and God forgive me if I'm wrong, I feel like it's when you see a little kid and you know that they did something bad, but they continue on with this lie, and then it gets to a medium point and then to a giant lie, but they have to keep going because they already committed to the lie.
They committed to the lie.
That's how I felt when I saw her speak.
Interesting.
So what would be your ideal role that you're just dying to play and you're waiting for it? Do you have an image of you playing a specific, character, I guess, or a predicament that you would love to portray a person in?
I definitely have always wanted to play like a detective or like a police officer, like
wow.
a strong female character like that. The first film I did, which was Fist of Justice, I played a mother. She's this humble, sweet mother, takes care of her daughter, single mother, kind of, good girl, like a good girl, and that was a great character. This other character, she was kind of spicy. She was a city girl, and then she actually turns, crazy and demonic or whatever. I would like to play the role of like a detective, a strong female, or like a lawyer or something like that. I think that'd be great. I think that would be fun to experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you said you were working on another script. No chance of us seeing you in something similar?
No, I'm actually kind of going back to the first character. I'm a mom, so I'm actually going to be acting in a film with some of the same people from this last film, and I'm going to be acting with my daughter, who has done a couple of acting things herself. And I play her mother, and basically she's there 1 minute and then she's not. This is also a scary movie.
Wow.
And
The
so,
scariest type.
yeah, so she's there 1 minute and that's all I can say, and then she's not, and then that kind of opens up the scene for the rest of the movie. But it's interesting because we're doing like a throwback kind of look. So I'm going to be a mom from like the early 90s, with those like high-waisted mom jeans, like kind of like the permed hair, the loafers. So I love doing, because I love fashion, I love experiencing those characters too, and those different looks and elements.
Do the producers, I guess, allow you to influence the wardrobe, or do you participate in any of that since you design already? And stuff?
Definitely. I worked with some great people in the last film, well, on both films actually, and they're like, well, do you have any ideas? I'm like, why, yes, I do. I'm like, this and this and this. I always come really prepared. That's another thing I wanted to say. If you're an actress or whatever art you want to do, don't ever show up to set with just one thing or one pair of shoes, or fill your whole back seat, because you never know when they're going to change it up on you, when your shoe is going to break, when you have to do your own makeup, when you have to do your own hair. I am like the queen of being prepared. I literally travel to set with like 3 suitcases. It's excessive, but you never know when you're going to need to do that. So,
How is it working with your daughter?
Oh, she's a dream. I love my girl.
How old is she? I'm sorry, I'm trying to get a picture.
She is 9 years old. She's going to be double digits in January. And
Does she like acting?
Oh, she loves it.
That's awesome.
She worked on a commercial with me. I did a Colair commercial, and she played my daughter, of course. We did a song together for Christmas. We did Feliz Navidad, and she actually sang on the track, and she came out in the video. And I was really proud of my kid, because within that week, she had to do testing for school.
Wow.
She had a school recital. She had to go in the studio, record the song. She had a photo shoot for the album cover, and then we recorded the video. Wow. And she was 8 years old at the time. So this kid, if she really wants to do it, she definitely has a work ethic for it. There are some adults that I know can't even do that.
And we know those people too.
And I'm just like, my 8-year-old daughter can do this, and you cannot do this, And I think she's actually going to be going to an art camp this summer. It's with the incubator, the McAllen Creative Incubator. So she signed up. So let's see where it goes. Nice. I'm not going to push her too hard. I want her to to organically happen. Yeah. But I love my kids, so
Yeah, you don't have to push as long as you expose them to the opportunity.
Exposure is the name of the game.
Yeah, either they fall in love with it or they shy away from it.
Yeah.
At that point, it's pretty much their decision. But exposure to acting, singing, diversifying your hobbies.
Robotics,
it's a plus.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, just to know that it's out there, because I put my son in T-ball, and at that point, the first year, they're just like doing whatever. They're jumping on top of each other.
Oh, that's so cute.
And like half of the way through, he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's like, you're going to finish it, dude. I don't care what you say.
I'm like that too.
You have to, because then he's going to quit everything. And then this summer, I told him, I was like, I'm going to look for some robotics.
Yeah.
And my wife and my daughter was like, why do you want to put him in that? Like, put him in something else, like sports. I was like, I want him to see what's out there.
Yeah.
Like, what if he really likes it?
Yeah.
And the if you put them into camps that are stimulating them intellectually, that's a hell of a thing too.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
You can't go wrong with that. My kids are grown already. Mijo's 23, Mijo's 19. They got their own thing going. But no, then we never put them into camps and stuff like that. We just kind of let them loose. Like, go do what you're gonna do. You know?
Which is also a good thing because my parents let me do that. It's go out and face the world and figure it out, which I think is a good thing too. But whatever.
Yeah, no, it is exactly that. It is whatever. But I will tell you this: my son, on his own, gravitated to the arts. He played Pirelli in Sweeney Todd. He did a couple of other things. Mija was more athletic and did the volleyball stuff. And
Diego did really. We filmed a lot of parts for the documentary that we thought were gonna be where we're gonna make it, so it looked like a real movie.
Yeah.
And his son came out on some of the parts, and he's like, he killed it, man.
Yeah,
he's so good, but the world has not seen any of that footage.
And
Are they going
won't. Yeah, probably won't.
I doubt it.
Josh and I are writing a script about the collapse that we're trying to. Just to kind of write it just for shits and giggles, so to speak.
To make a full feature documentary, hopefully.
A full feature
a full film.
I was going to say, when I, not to cut you all off, but when I initially went to the first screening, thank you, I was so blessed to go and watch it before anybody else did. That was my first thought. I'm like, man, like what an incredible movie this would make.
Would make a perfect
I think
movie.
you guys should go for it.
I wrote a script years ago about these 4 fishermen, dude, who went out and wound up being under the bridge. And because I had no idea or knowledge of the people who passed away. You know, my connection was with the people who I was able to save. When Josh comes on board and he says, Robert, we're going to shoot this and we're going to direct it and we need to get to know these things, we come to find out that 2 very, very important and substantial people in both South Padre Island and Port Isabel happened to pass away that night, along with several others. After we learned who they were and we learned about them and the things that they contributed and the feats that they had accomplished, we said, man, this whole script that we've been doing is wrong. The movie needs to be made about these 2 individuals who passed away.
Yeah.
And the 4 men who happened to be under the bridge that saved the survivors is a footnote. The movie can't hinge on them at all.
Okay.
It's on these 2 gentlemen, man. And this guy was a pillar of Port Isabel. And this guy was still to this day, people know who he was and what he contributed. The movie needs to surround them and their last 3 days leading up to the collapse.
Wow.
And when that light bulb went up on our head, we started rewriting it. So we're
still not finished.
We're still not finished.
Hey, but you know what? That's great. Go with your instinct on that.
Yeah,
you know where it needs to go and keep going because you guys are
Yes.
so talented. I see this being a movie, guys.
We were really
Absolutely.
stuck
Yeah.
because we didn't know how to end the whole thing. You know, the 4 fishermen get there. They you know, it was just really, it was very dry and it was more of a morbid, just, okay, that happened and there you go. Now, 20 years later, the ripple effects of the loss of these 2 individuals and many more are evident, so we can wrap up the movie with that now.
Yeah.
And so, no, yeah, we really got inspired, and we don't know anything about the movie business, but
We're trying.
we're
But you
trying.
can.
We wedged
But we
ourselves
can.
into the middle of it. Like when we
Yes.
went to LA a few times, we completely felt out of place.
Really?
Yeah, well, I mean, they kind of it's a different crowd, to say the least.
Yes.
Okay.
And
How so? How did you feel it?
Well, I felt like obviously I don't want to say the people, but the I guess the people that were there kind of didn't welcome us in.
Yeah, I think we do. What he's trying to say is that we really stuck out like a couple of sore thumbs, and nobody really goes out of their way to demonstrate any kind of humility or welcoming. You know,
Not like Texas.
Yeah, you know,
Texas
here you
is-
see somebody who's like, "Hey, come here. What are you doing over there alone?" You know, and
Yeah.
what's your name? And over there it's just kind of Josh and I, and we wound up just talking to each other the whole night.
Yeah, and it's
which is
because
good company.
We
but
tried.
We
Yeah.
tried,
to
but
embed ourselves
people are
into
very
the
short,
thing.
you know, and very, I guess, standoffish. Not standoffish, just
It's because everybody there has a movie, or everybody is trying to do the same thing. So it's like it's
or already established.
Yeah,
you
already
know,
established.
So we were just kind of
even trying to get interviews is like pulling teeth. You know?
Yeah.
it's not a fun, easy process. So for those of you all who are already immersed in it, kudos, because it's a difficult ladder to climb.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, we
even
were like-
difficult to get on the goddamn ladder, much
Yeah.
less
We
climb.
were like, yeah, we're gonna sell this for sure,
yeah,
man. And
no, nobody cares. Nobody
no.
cares.
But I've experienced that too, because I spent, quite a few years in LA, and like you definitely you notice, the LA life is something else, and sometimes people are snooty and they're ugly and they're disconnected. Not all of them, guys. So my California people, I love you. You know who you are, but
I love California.
We
Yeah.
were
I get
having
it.
drinks with somebody or some person, and I'll never forget. I don't even remember who it was, but he or she said, the key to living in LA is you got to act and realize that everybody acts like they're 24 or 25 years old. From the
Yeah.
70-year-old, 90-year-olds to the 14 and 15-year-olds.
That's the advice we were given.
He said,
Act like
just
a
act like you're
25-year-old.
25. Remember who you were when you were 25? That snooty, smart-ass kid, whatever. Be that person while you're in LA, and you'll get along famously, man.
honestly, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
You have to. Sometimes you have to play the part. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, we didn't fit in.
No, well, I think it's because like we were going as we are.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to detach ourselves because we're not actors.
Yeah.
We've never done that stuff, so we're very
No way.
personable. We'll go up to people and have real conversations
Yeah.
and kind of just like, all right, let's go smooth.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way over there.
Yeah, but I
It's
think
a little
being
different.
like from where we're from too, like we're very, like loving and sweet, and you're like
That's why they're all coming down here to
Yeah.
Texas. Everybody's, abandoning
Yeah.
California because y'all don't treat us right. But anyways, moving on. What would your advice be to somebody who is like me or Josh who wants to break into acting? How do I go about it? Like, are there sites? Do you have an agency? Like, what is it?
Honestly, this is what I feel you guys should do, and I'm telling you because this is something that I want to do eventually, and I've learned that from a formula of two actresses that I pretty much follow. So Lena Dunham, she's an actress. She actually did and budgeted her own film. She wrote it. She starred herself in it. Judd Apatow, we all know who he is, Knocked Up, all those rom-com movies, saw that, and they pitched it to HBO, and it turned into a series, which was called Girls. Another actress that I follow and that I like, she did the same thing. Sometimes you have to create your own content and put yourself in it. Make yourself the star. Make people notice you. And also at the same time, you're going to get that acting experience. You know what I mean? Now, beyond that, in terms of marketing that when you're done and stuff, I wouldn't know how to do that. I work with someone. I have a publicist, Flower Guerrero. Hey, girl, love you. She was the publicist for the first movie I did. Then you kind of have to branch out and meet people in public relations or whatever. But why not start there? Why not do this movie that you guys are talking about that we just discussed and put yourself in a role here and there? Try it. Why not? I'm writing my own personal script. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I don't know if I want it to be just like a short or a feature film or do it like a series and release it myself. But those are my goals. And of course, I'm going to put myself in it. And I'm going to
Absolutely.
put my friends that are actors that want to be in it. Like, I want to put people that I know from the Valley that maybe haven't gotten that chance. And I want to put them in there and get them to work because I know they have talent.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you deal with like the haters?
Oh gosh, there's so many haters.
The what?
I dealt with
The haters.
Oh, yeah. No.
I dealt with a hater yesterday, and I was just like, you know what? You have to ignore it as best as you can. And sometimes we're human. It hurts our feelings, and sometimes you internalize it. But for the most part, I feel like hurt people hurt other people.
Yeah,
you know
you're
what I'm
right.
saying? And so you can't let that stop your progress. You know what I mean? I haven't gotten too many ugly comments. Mostly I feel like the hating comes from like people that are like, oh, hey, and then behind your back they're like talking about
gotcha.
you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't do that. I don't feel the need to do that. I feel like there's enough room at the table for everybody to eat. So I don't like talking bad about people or criticizing or whatever, but that doesn't mean people can act the same way.
Yeah.
So how I dealt with it yesterday was I read the comment, I complained about it to my fiance, and he's like, don't stoop to their level, and I just blocked the person.
Yeah.
They were body shaming, and I'm like, there's no room for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm all about body positivity. What makes you happy, go with that. You know what I mean? If you want to eat the pizza, eat the pizza. If you want to eat the pan dulce, eat the pan dulce. You know what I'm saying?
We can't right now, Magali. We're on a diet.
I'm such a bad influence.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait a minute, Magali. I thought we were friends, man. We ain't trying to have no pizza. But you know what? The truth of the matter is that they really aren't worth. My cousin Cindy married an amazing dude. His name's Julian, and I heard Julius say one day, I said Julian, but it's Julius. Julius said one day, hey, bro, you give away your happiness too cheap. He told that to my prima. And she explained it to me. She was like, yeah, like you're driving or somebody talks shit to you or says something. We wake up and all we're working for is our happiness, man. Like you, every day, if you're going to work, if you're dressing your children, if you're eating, you're feeding your body, you're going to church, all of that is on a journey towards happiness. And then you get it for a little while, and then somebody cuts you off or makes a bad comment, like you said, and then all of that happiness goes away. And he told his wife, my prima Cindy, he goes, baby, you give your happiness away too cheap. Look how much you work for it.
Yeah.
You're going to let that piece of shit take it from you with just a couple of words? You're giving away too cheap. It's too cheap.
Yeah.
If you ask me, it's too cheap for you to be angry or upset about it.
It's true.
That shit, Julius, changed my life. Changed my life because I heard it and now I don't. I can get horrible news or cut off or flipped off, and I just think, man, that's a reflection of you and what you're dealing with, brother.
Yeah.
My happiness isn't for sale, especially not for those little bullshit comments.
Well, a lot of people harbor that. Like they'll
I
hold
used
on to it.
I used to. I can't anymore. It's too much happiness going on there. I can't mess with it. I work hard for it, and I ain't giving it to you because you don't like what I said or what I posted or what.
You're having a bad day.
Yeah, or you're having a bad day, or
you're not
maybe I
happy with
merit it.
yourself.
Regardless, I make a selfish choice. I could be the worst son of a bitch you've ever met, but if I'm a son of a bitch and I'm happy, I might not care what you say, and it's a conscious choice. I'm not gonna let somebody have any domain over my happiness. I just can't. Life's too short.
Life's too
so I
short.
think
I
that's
agree.
the way to deal with it. Just don't give your happiness away. Not cheap, at least. You lose somebody in a family, a loved one broke your heart, whatever. All right, give your happiness away for a little while.
Yeah.
For a little while. Put it away, put it aside. It's there. You know how to get back to it. But put it away. That merits you putting your happiness away. But not the haters. Fuck the haters, bro. They ain't getting any of my happiness.
Yeah, there's no place for that. I'm just
There's
like,
not.
okay.
There's
whatever.
not. Part of
Let
my
me
friends,
ask you
but there's
this
not.
before we finish off the podcast. Mental health right now, super important. I get it, and I've never really dealt with depression, but I live a lot of my life vicariously through Rob by hearing his stories and his past and everything that's gone in his life. So I'm super blessed. Like I'm super blessed to have him part of my life. That way, I don't have to go through that stuff. Like he's like the big brother that's taking the grunt of all the crap, so I get to learn it. What do you think about that? Have you ever gone through depression? Or
Definitely. I struggled a lot. I feel like with depression after I had my daughter. I know that's what you would maybe consider normal after having a baby, but I was in California. I was by myself. I didn't have my family. I went through a really rough time. It actually wasn't until I saw that show that I was talking to you about, that actress who I learned had written her own story and put it out there and took a chance. She really, her story and all her whole vibes just got me through that depression. And I'm like, I feel whole again. Like I can do the business again. I can get back to it. It was mainly because I had been going for so long and then I stopped, And of course, having a baby is wonderful. I love being a mother. I can't wait to have another baby someday, But you do miss that business element of it. Like, oh, I want to go back and get in the studio, or I want to do this, but you kind of have to take that break, So I've experienced it in that, I feel, small capacity.
I like that you said that because it's a testament to what I always tell Josh. When you said right now, I got sad and I was depressed because I wish I could go back and I wanted to do the things that I did.
Yeah.
My daughter called me a couple days ago. And she says, Dad, I'm having a full-on blown anxiety attack. And I said, oh, you're worried? And she said, yeah. And I said, baby, you're in the future. If you're worried, you're thinking about something that's coming, something that hasn't happened yet. And right now, when you said postpartum and the whole I'm depressed, I wish I could do this, sadness and depression comes from time, too much time that we spend in our past. If you're sad, it's over something you can't change anymore. You know, if you're sad or you're hurting, it's because it already happened. So I associate anxiety with living in the past.
Yes.
And
definitely.
when my daughter calls me and she says, Dad, I'm scared. I'm tripping out. I'm having this anxiety attack over all these things in school and this and my bill. And I said, baby, you're in the future. You're you're 2, 3, 4, 5 days in the future, and it's messing up your right now. So having gone through all that and having lived with anxiety and sadness, I tell Josh, it's just a matter of controlling your time machine, man. If you consider yourself a very, very capable, potent time machine, and you can transport yourself in the past so deeply that it hurts you, like you as an actress, it brings tears, it commands physical, right now emotion. Well, that's you in complete control of your time machine. Now, all you have to do to get out of that sadness is just come right back to the present.
Definitely.
And if your time machine is traveling too far in the future and it's making you nervous, then all you got to do is bring it back to the right now.
Yes.
And I was telling my daughter this. She was like, Dad, I got you. I love you. You're right. I was worried about tomorrow. But I said, baby, you might be gone tonight. I don't know, but I'm not worried about it because it takes away from this right now, the now.
Yeah.
So mental health for Josh and I is something we talk about a lot because everybody struggles with it. And whether you self-diagnose or you haven't or you don't realize it, everybody's their own little time machine.
Yeah.
And really nobody's aware of it.
Yeah.
And they dwell too long in the future, too long in the past, and it robs from the right now.
Yes, I
And with
agree.
social media,
Oh my God, it's
very
easy.
prevalent.
It's easy
Well, and
to
with
do.
everything that's going on and has been going on, you know, it's hard to, you know, sometimes to stay positive. Sometimes it does weigh down on us, you know, whether we want it to or not, you know. But I love everything that you just said. I mean, you're so right, you know. And
It
it's
really
also
is.
about acceptance, too. When I accepted that was in my past, I was ready for my present.
That's
and
taking
my
control.
present was, I was a different type of artist. I was a different type of person. And I was a mother. And what are we going to do now? And then I, you know, started back up again with the music shortly after we did Esteves, you know.
Well, kudos to you on all of your success and
Thank
upcoming
you.
success. Thank you so much for hanging out with
Where
Josh
can
and I.
everybody find you?
I'm under everything under social media, Magali de la Rosa, or you can go to magaliDeLaRosa.com.
Awesome. Well, guys,
Love
we thank you all very much for tuning in. Magali, thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you guys. I don't want to leave.
We still
I
have a
love it
photo
here.
shoot
It's
over
so
there.
great.
We still have
Definitely.
to get the pictures.
Yes.
All right, guys, we'll see y'all later.